April 6th, 8:30 a.m., Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence, Chamber. Do you know? I hate this man. His gay little standing. That absolute homosexual. Edgeworth is either incredibly gay or incredibly ace, and you can read him as either or both. I love him though. Fair and frank, don't make me laugh. On April 5th, despite having been advised of the illegality of an investigation he was conducting, the accused refused to desist and eventually had to be detained by myself and Chairman Winner. His actions compromised the investigation into the murder of a certain defense attorney. And despite having been presented with copious evidence of her guilt, he continues to insist that the suspect, one K. Faraday, is innocent of all charges. Of course, on the morning of the 5th, the body of the victim was found here in the committee chamber. Further explanation will be provided by... Hi, Eustace. The floor is yours, Mr. Winner. Oh, I forgot about this image. I'm sorry, I got taken off guard by the blue badger mask. Startled me. I think, yeah. Meaning that the murder took place sometime during the auction. Doritos, bullet flavored Doritos, you asshole. Did you now? Did you do that all by your big boy self, Eustace? You fucking liar. You deduced nothing of the soul. And what about the basis on which the suspect was detained, Mr. Winner? Crushing remorse, Eustace. Tons of crushing remorse. Precisely, Mr. Chairman. The killer dressed the victim in the auctioneer's outfit, after all. But at the time when she was killed, Miss Ringer was wearing a red raincoat. Itchy face. It's not a race. It's not a race, you dumb little child. Did you? I thought it was someone from forensics. Strictly speaking, it was found by one of the forensic investigators under Mr. Winner's command. I knew it. The blood and the... You don't get a voice. Shut up, Eustace. I hate you too much to voice you. I have no objections, Chairman Winner. No objections in the matter of my unauthorized investigation, that is. But in the matter of Miss Faraday's supposed guilt, I have plenty.
Overruled.
I can personally attest to the fact that Mr. Winner's investigation was fair and impartial. I hate this child. No, I'm good. If you think you can buy my silence, think again. What? You will watch your mouth. Only if the chairman watches his. I didn't come here to talk about committee seats. I came here to talk about the murder case. I demand a statement under oath, and I won't rest until I have one. I want to know exactly what the committee's view on this incident is. Very little makes Edgeworth happy. Like chess and tea and children's TV. Really? But sir... Ooh, we got all of our evidence back. Hell yeah. Look at my pockets, it's all full again. Nothing interesting about the back? Alright. Lie to me some more video game. None whatsoever. Don't worry, Kay. Everything will be fine. You'll see. Alright, Verity, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Ms. Ringer attended the auction as a potential buyer. The red raincoat was one of the items up for sale. So our assumption is that after winning and paying for it, she left the auction with her purchase. The only exit from the storeroom was, of course, the hatch leading up onto the roof. After she'd emerged from the viewing platform, that's when Miss Ringer was attacked by Miss Faraday. Shortly thereafter, her flame went out, and thus concludes the committee's view of the case. The raincoat was on offer that night. Is that really true? We believe so, yes. You remember the failed assassination attempt on the president of Zhangfa, I assume? Yeah, it was fucking there. The raincoat is a piece of evidence from that case. It should, of course, have remained safely under lock and key in the appropriate facility. But our inquiries revealed that it did in fact go missing under mysterious circumstancing. And wound up in the auction along with everything else. That makes sense, I suppose. Time to press everything. You flatter me, sir. Now, Mr. Edgeworth, perhaps you could save us all some time and simply admit defeat. I'll do no such thing, thank you very much. Very well. It's good to know that you still have some fight in you. Is it? Why? Come to think of it, she said some strange things when she visited me this morning, too. Oh, are we gonna flashback? Because I don't remember what happened. What exactly is she up to? Oh, the one time that I needed a flashback. Fuck you, game. Give it up. In other words, a member of the committee was actively involved in the illegal evidence trade. It is unfortunate. I don't know what else to say. Yeah, sure you will. I commend your decision to pursue the matter further, Mr. Chairman. Very well. Allow me to continue.
Hold it!
So the raincoat really was one of the auction lots. That's correct. I believe it originally belonged to a Mr. Shelley the Killer. Man, I wish Shelley were here right now. Take you dumb fucks out. It's from when he made his attempt on the president's life. There was an unexplained mannequin standing amongst the other items on sale. It could well have been used to display the coat prior to the auction. Do we know how the items were being smuggled in? That is still under investigation and is entirely unrelated to the matter at hand. Especially considering that you will soon officially be a prosecutor no longer, Mr. Edgeworth. It sounds like the outcome of this hearing is a foregone conclusion. No surprises there. My personal circumstances aren't important right now. Please continue, Your Honor. As I was saying, the raincoat was one of the items up for sale.
Hold it!
Why did she leave so soon after making her purchase? Because of the auction house rules. Winning bidders are expected to pay for their items immediately. Ms. Hart told us pretty much the same thing. Miss Ringer, having paid for the raincoat, probably left immediately afterwards in accordance with the rules.
Hold it!
Ms. Ringer was a member of the committee. Could she not have left in the committee chamber via the main door? Well, the auction was still underway. That would risk exposing its existence to those outside the trusted circle of attendees. Given that Ms. Hart let me try that again. Given that Ms. Hart found out about it, I think its existence is already well and exposed. The rules of the auction state that attendees were to enter and leave via the hatch in the roof. Ms. Ringer had no reason not to follow those rules. And given where the murder took place, we know that she must have done so.
Hold it!
But why? What possible motive could Kay have had? That is exactly what we are hoping to establish in our upcoming interviews with Miss Faraday. Coercive interrogation after the fact, something you seem to specialize in. If the murderer knew that the attendees would all be leaving via the hatch, then the roof would have been the perfect place to lie in wait. So as I was saying, after she'd emerged onto the viewing platform, that's when Ms. Ringer was attacked. Shortly thereafter, her flame went out. Here's the thing. I don't know what button this is supposed to be. Alright. For the fact that we know she was killed elsewhere.
Objection!
Nope, this is not the right thing. Don't hit me, woman. Judge Gabrielle is a tougher nut to crack than Mr. Winner. But that doesn't mean I should give up. The base is a very unique shape. If it were removed from a dusty shelf or something, it would be immediately obvious what had been standing there. Oop. The prongs of each arm are covered in blood. Spacing matches that of the wounds in the victim's chest. But is this really the murder weapon? I'm pretty sure it is the murder weapon. I could be wrong. Alright, what does this say? Okay.
Hold it!
Her flame went out. The flame of her life, Mr. Edgeworth. Though perhaps her flame was stolen from her is more apt.
Objection!
Could you not make puns about death? The candelabrum that extinguished her life was one of the auction lots, meaning Kay had no way of getting a hold of it to begin with.
Overruled!
Miss Faraday could not have lain in wait for the victim without knowing of the storeroom's existence. She could easily have snuck down the ladder and stolen it while the auction was underway. Oh, if only we knew where the... Okay. Sadly, we don't have anything that could tell us that much on the front at the moment. Forgive me, sir, that is something we are hoping to establish through further investigation. So their theory is that the victim and her killer met on the roof, and that's where the murder took place. In other words, it assumes the viewing platform was the scene of the crime. But is that really the case? Thought I had evidence that clearly shows the story of what happened that night. Double check. Okay. This didn't do it. Stress. Can't look at that any closer. Can't look at that any closer. This has a lot of fucking questions. I'm gonna go with the picture. I'm gonna go with the photograph. Because they don't have that. Oh. Hey, I did it. Maybe you can clear something up for me, Judge Gavial. But what is Miss Hart doing here at this hearing? She's an eyewitness. I thought it would be obvious. Well, now I ain't really an eyewitness, more of an ear witness, I guess. She's not exactly the most confidence-inspiring choice to help you make your case, is she? I like to think I choose my allies a little more carefully than you, Mr. Edgeworth. Then you should question them more thoroughly, because there's something she hasn't told you. Take a look at this photo taken by Ms. Hart. Yes, in the storeroom, correct? What of it? A According to your theory, the murder occurred up on the roof. But according to Miss Hart's testimony, she happened to witness the entire incident unfold in the storeroom. Just before she took this picture. Wrong. That's exactly what I'm saying. Ms. Hart, if I may confirm your account of the events you witnessed that night. You saw the person in this picture, correct? I sure did, clear as day, and with my own 2 eyes to boot. And what were your impressions at that point? My impressions? This right here is a scoop of the century, something like that. My head hurts. I was hoping for more of your impressions of the person in question. Oh, that there's a walking meal ticket? Seriously? Just my little joke. No need to look at me like I done sat on your lunch. Old red raincoat, right? Well, I took one look and I thought, that's our perp right there. And therein lies the rub, for Miss Hart to have thought such a thing means that the Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, when will you learn to use your words? If it's an explanation of the facts that you require, you need only ask, you know. This bitch. What do you mean? I assume you're about to raise the issue of the voices Miss Hart heard. Voices that may be unrelated. Woman, I swear to God, I'm gonna fight you.
Objection!
Verity Gavial. I'm gonna kick your ass. Unrelated, you can do better than that. Was one of the voices Miss Hart heard really even Miss Ringer's? You're kidding me, right? Them folks was talking crime-related turkey, or my name ain't Lana Daring Hart. Ah, but did you hear them clearly? Well, can't rightly say for sure, but I can't rightly say nothing, and you know it. It was using voice changes. I done told you all that. Precisely. Miss Hart heard voices, but those voices were disguised. Which means we cannot ever be certain that whatever she did over here had anything to do with the murder.
Objection!
It seems I overestimated you, Judge Gavial. And yet she believes that what Miss Hart heard might not have had anything to do with the murder. Even supposing that's the case, it doesn't prove the murder didn't happen in the storeroom. The incident happened before the victim was able to go up on the roof, that much we can say for certain. And I can tell you why. This proves the incident happened before the victim went off on the roof. Presente. We initially thought the person in the red raincoat was the culprit. Indeed. She told us about the blood she saw on the person's hand. I doubt many people would have thought differently given her testimony. Ergo, if this person is the killer, then the blood we see would be from when they attacked the victim. But knowing what we know now, that this person is in fact the victim, it recontextualizes everything. The presence of the blood still shows that the picture was taken after the attack. But now it tells us something very important about the victim, too. Survive the attack? We're gonna go survive the attack. There's no doubt in my mind that the victim was attacked in the storeroom. But here we have photographic evidence of her standing upright and alive, albeit with a bloody hand. This can only mean that Ms. Ringer survived the attack. The blood on her hand is from the wound she had sustained. That's from a hand wound. The wound wasn't on her hand, Mr. Winner. I imagine she used her hand to try and staunch a wound. That's right, well, it's impossible to tell from this angle. The victim was already mortally wounded here. It very much would, not least by making it absurd to suggest Kay was the attacker. Her encounter with the victim happened after this picture had been taken. after the victim had already been attacked and was in critical condition. I put it to you that all Kay witnessed was the victim finally succumbing to her wounds. That would have been quite the coincidence. It's a textbook case of wrong place, wrong time, I'd say. You seem to be forgetting a rather important fact, Mr. Edgeworth. What? What fact am I forgetting? Eustace, the judge doesn't work for you, you dumb child. You have a terrible father. But that's only so much of an excuse. I hate to break it to you, but you both are. Out of his misery. As you wish. Miss Rigger's body was found with 3 wounds in its chest. And we all know what those wounds are from, don't we? That's right, they're from when she was stabbed in the chest by a 3-armed candelabrum. I doubt anybody could survive such grave wounds. If you cared to read the coroner's report, I'm sure you would change your tune. Make several objections? Yes, I'm afraid I will. Oh, I was listening, very carefully in fact, hence my objections. That's never my intention, I assure you. It's not, you dumb child. Because you do it so well yourself every single time already. You mean Dad?
Hold it!
3 wounds that can't have been pleasant. Yes, which is why we must see this, that the perpetrator of this cruel act pays for their sins. Don't listen to her, Kay. She's just trying to scare you. If we could please continue on, Judge Gavial, before you make my teenage friend cry some more, you monster. Very well. As I was saying, there were 3 wounds. And... okay. I need to look at this. Burn mark. And she got whacked pretty hard on the head. Kay's promise notebook. I don't have any great ideas yet, so let's just keep pressing everything.
Hold it!
I do, but perhaps we should ask Mr. Winner. He does, I'm sure. Don't you, Eustace? Who does he think he's fooling? Precisely, the wounds were infected just as Eustace says.
Hold it!
And just sure the stabs to the chest were the cause of death, there's no doubt about that. None. One of the spikes of the candelabrum even pierced the victim's heart. And unless you mean to call Dr. Hurt's professional opinion into question, we can only treat that as fact. Well, I'm certainly not about to ignore the coroner's findings. But if the cause of death really was the puncture wounds to the chest from the candelabrum, it would seem to contradict one of the pieces of evidence we've gathered. As you wish. At the very least, I will ensure he cannot ignore my own conclusion. You got my art juices going, so now my new TTRPG character art is finished. Yay! Congrats, Nin! You want to show it off? If you've got it posted somewhere, you can just throw the link in chat so everybody can see. Oh, you already did. Hey. Oh, that's so cute. Good job, man. It's very cute. He's a gnoll? Oh, I love gnolls. It's good to see you trying some lighting and shit, and I know that's not something you do that often. It looks good. I don't know why I love gnolls, I just think they're adorable. I have problems. Look, a big scary monster! I want to pet it. Oh, for anybody who, like, wants to see it. I used layers and shit and did shading and everything. Yeah, you did great.
Hold it!
Sorry, I zoned out for a second. Hang on. My face hurts and I'm trying to squish my face back into my face. Don't worry about it. This second hurricane has not given my triggers my sinuses a chance to untrigger. But the victim may not necessarily have died instantly. I think we can say that much at least. Perhaps, but she would surely not have lived for longer than a few moments either. Good, thanks for that decisive thought, Eustace. Yeah, I don't know, sweetie. Don't listen to that boy. Please never date anyone that's stupid. Trust me, there are not, and in case you're still tempted to believe there might be, you care to read the coroner's report, I'm sure you would change your mind.
Hold it!
The cause of death is the set of 3 puncture wounds on the left side of the chest inflicted by a candle holder. Well done for reading, Mr. Edgeworth. That report forms the basis of my own conclusions. Also, do you have the sketch on the wrong layer twice? I mean, don't we all? In other words, if I disprove what it says, I disprove your conclusions too. You have the strangest sense of humor, but I wouldn't mind seeing you try. However, before you do, I would advise you read that report very carefully. After all, I am not interested in your opinions, only in solidly grounded deductions. Very well, then you shall have my deductions. What's up, kiddo? Don't worry, Kay, everything will be alright. I need to find something to prove that the victim was still alive and breathing immediately after the attack. I can't. Kay's fate will be sealed. Alright. I don't think this is helpful. It's not helpful. Ow. Hi, Chizu. Thanks for the garbage. Another victim. Did you finish your stream already? No, you're still Strams. Hi, Jizu. Hi, Jizu stream. Let's see. Another victim. Blood. Blood was found on the hood. Blood was found on the hood.
Hold it!
So it is this one, because this is the one that he's like, my evidence! Okay. Let's try the raincoat.
Objection!
Chairman winner. You know what this is, of course. Yes, sir. The one Miss Ringer was wearing. I warn you, Mr. Edgeworth, you will not be thanked for retreading old ground here. Well, I'm afraid I might have to regardless. Now then, if you'll answer me this, Judge Gaviel. You told us that the victim's bloodstains were found on the coat. Do you remember where exactly they were found? Of course, they were found on the hood and... no. The hood and... was blood found anywhere else on the raincoat? No, it was not. Doesn't that strike you as odd? The victim died of stab wounds to the chest. Wouldn't that lead one to expect to find bloodstains in that area? And yet, the blood was only on the hood. The glaring contradiction if ever I saw one. The head wound the victim suffered wasn't just some incidental injury. It was inflicted before the stab wounds to her chest. Perhaps you are correct. Perhaps the victim did sustain the head injury first. As you said, if she had been stabbed first, there should be blood in the chest area of the raincoat. Therefore, Ms. Ringer cannot have been stabbed before the head injury was inflicted on her. But even if we concede this point, that the head injury came before the chest wound, what difference would it make? How does it change our understanding of the case? I'd say it changes things a great deal, in fact. It raises even more fundamental contradiction. That is quite the bold claim, Mr. Edgeworth. I have to admit, you have me intrigued. Perhaps you could show us this fundamental contradiction with some evidence. Which piece of evidence best demonstrates the contradiction in order... the order of the injuries was revealed? This is all of our blood evidence, right? It's these 5 things. What is this? That was put in her pocket after she was stabbed. She was a little bit stabbed. If she was stabbed, wouldn't there be chest wounds in the jacket? Right. Here's the picture of her corpse. This is the official, like, where she was found and everything. There's no blood, so even if you assume that the raincoat was open, oh, we just have to present the coroner's findings, right? Which piece of evidence? The contradiction, yeah. I'm smart. That's... arts. Oh, is this also the coroner's findings? Alright. Nope. This is Dr. Hertz's preliminary findings, according to which the victim suffered a head injury post-mortem. But the order suggested by the bloodstains on the raincoat is... exactly the opposite, yes. Bailiff, this court hereby subpoenas Dr. Hilda... Her name's Hilda? Alright. Dr. Hilda Hertz to the committee chamber with all due haste. Until she testifies, this case cannot be brought to a close. Hilda! 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 Unfortunately, Dr. Hertz is a very busy woman. I doubt she will be able to come immediately. In the meantime, there's another important angle I would like to explore. Frankly, something has been bothering me about the person at the heart of this case. The so-called ringleader. Who exactly are they? No, you didn't do shit, kid. Despite having been mentioned repeatedly in this hearing, we still don't know even the most basic facts that might help us uncover their identity. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any thoughts on the matter? We've seen nothing that might serve as clear evidence to the auctioneer's identity as of yet. But there is someone involved with the case that I can name. I suspect that at the very least they might be able to point us in the right direction. Oh. Chairman Winner, I demand that you testify as to what you know. How's this for making up your own fucking truth? Let's go. You would cast doubt on the integrity of the chairman of the committee? Damn straight I would. You do understand the implications of such an act? I don't care who or what he is, we're talking about the truth here. And about a man who seems dead set on framing Kay at all costs. The mask, the corsage, the take-it stub, and everything else, the items Kay was carrying when she was found. They were deliberately placed in her possession somehow. By Chairman Winner himself. A shocking accusation, and one I find hard to believe, but for the sake of completeness, I must add. Why would he do such a thing? To cast suspicion on Kay, of course, why else? But can we proofread the video game, Capcom? Can we proofread the video game, Capcom? I even managed to get him to say something to that effect. Chairman Winnow, your rebuttal, please. Come on, Celsius, let's go. I think the good chairman might be in shock. Didn't you? I hate this man. He still has the arrogance he showed back at the detention center, and yet... Mr. Edgeworth, I'm going to have to ask you to explain yourself. If that's all right, Mr. Chairman. Fine, an upstanding citizen? I'll fucking kill this man. He has a lot of nerve acting all innocent like that. I'm gonna kick this man's ass. Oh. Let's start at the very beginning. The fact that the auction took place right here in this hallowed trial chamber is a point of suspicion. A location that should, by all rights, only be accessible to members of the committee. Furthermore, these auctions seem to be held on a somewhat regular basis. And for that to be possible... Thanks for the help, Eustace. That's right, Mr. Winnet. The auctioneer is a member of the committee. This child. What on earth is wrong now? What a good family bonding session we have on our hands. That's true, there are 11 members of the committee altogether. 10, given Miss Ringo's unfortunate passing. 10 potential suspects in total. Look at Captain Bowlcut over here. Why is there an 8-year-old with a bad haircut on the committee? That's a lot of noise for 11 people. His eyes are so upsetting. The murder happened. He ordered the victims of injuries. Some other things I hardly even remember. The suspect herself has already said she did it. What matters at the end of the day. I will, you fucking monster. How can I when that barely was a testimony to begin with? No, okay, we're gonna kick this guy's ass. You saw a flash of something. You saw a flash of something half-remembered, Kay. Nothing more. If you must believe in something. Believe me when I say you should believe in your own innocence instead. Believe in the me that believes in you. I'm up against the head of the committee here. This isn't going to be easy. I have the hiccups. It's upsetting. Kinda hurts. Don't enjoy it. But he seems to think he's already won. Perhaps I can use that against him.
Hold it!
Even if the broad strokes are correct, it doesn't make something true. So you're a proponent of the 3-day trial? Not in the slightest, hence my inquiry into the details.
Hold it!
I seem to recall the ringleader's identity and the faulty coroner's report being critical points of contention. Listen, Edgeworth, you should be careful about who you say is having a faulty coroner's report. How can you possibly suggest that such fundamental issues are not important? Perhaps it is your ability to make sound judgments that should be on trial here today. But you needn't have bothered. Okay. There's no way any of what we've discussed today is irrelevant, not unless you intend to bury the truth.
Hold it!
Just because she confessed to something doesn't make it the truth. Kay is suffering from amnesia, so any statement she makes should be taken with at least a grain of salt.
Objection!
Objection. Nah. Fine. Let's do it. Let's ask her again. See if she really believes herself to be the culprit. Yes, Kay. That would be you, sweetie. Is this really what you want, Mr. Edgeworth? If it goes badly, it could significantly weaken your position. I know, but there's no other way. I only request that I be the one to question her. All I can think about is how moist that beard is. It must be moldy. And so, like, stiff and salty. Gross. It probably crunches when you grab it if it's not like just sopping wet and you can wring it out. Sounds like a great plan. Alright, that's it. You'll just declare her guilty, just like that. No, wet, but also crunchy. The worst combination. Like fried mochi. A big risk, but he's going to find a way to condemn her either way if we don't do something. Okay. I know it's a lot to ask, but I need you to think. Do you remember anything else about what happened the day of the murder? Ooh, what you got for me? Holy shit, the bubbles are so cute. Oh, I'm excited for these jellyfish. Ah, the cribs! The cribs are cribs. Oh, look at the little crab. There's a bunch of them. Oh, sorry. I like this spider friend with the many eyes. He's cute. I don't know. You've got a lot in here already. I'm really bad at filling up a canvas like that, so you're already way ahead of me. Anything that might help us prove your innocence. Little four-eyed guys, I like them. Look at her eyeball wiggle. It's such an upsetting sprite. Don't worry, Kay, you have nothing to be afraid of. I may not have known you for very long, but I know you well enough. And right now I'd say I know you better than you know yourself. I want to animate a Naga eye wiggle, like in the mask, the light blue dot, that'd be cool. You would never commit a murder, you could never, because this is who you really are. Do we have it? Where is it? Letter. I know what we need. Gotta find it. Record. I'm so confused. Oh, are we just supposed to give her the pin? Boom! You're the great thief Yatakarasu. A noble outlaw who would never stoop so low as to kill. Okay.
Hold it!
No, the only evidence of your guilt is the confession they forced out of you. As I said earlier, you have to believe that you're better than that. Or are you saying you don't believe a word of what I've been telling you? So that's what's going on. The reason you're allowing yourself to be railroaded into accepting your fate is because of me, isn't it? Which is exactly what the Kay I know would have done. That's a bit of a stretch, Kay, but I've grown as a person. I'm getting better. Sorry to burst your bubble, but I'm not. And I don't plan on becoming one anytime soon. Because despite all your wishes to the contrary, I'm still trying to help you. You see, I've merely been servicing my own ego, regardless of what I put you through. Yeah, I mean, he did tell a woman he didn't care if she killed herself on the stand a few games ago, so... Yeah, I hate to be the bearer of news. Edgeworth isn't strictly a good person. Now, let's try this again. See the good in yourself, Kay. Remember the noble thief you truly are. That memory of you committing the murder, you need to question it with all you have. That's all I ask. So please, do it for me. Edgeworth would be the type of man to say servicing myself in court. I mean, he just fucking did. He's burdened with feelings. Unnecessary ones. Come on, Kay. You can do it. Kay. What's wrong? Did you remember something? Maybe you should shut the fuck up, Winner. I'm sorry, what? Mr. Edgeworth, if you could perhaps ask her for a few more details. Well, okay, what can you tell us about this cow? You remember a cow? Look, she's so excited about this cow! She had a cow in her hand. A stuffed cow. Are you sure, Miss Faraday? Are you absolutely certain? Look how cute she is. She's like, yeah, I'm good. And this court acknowledges the defense's latest statement as new testimony. You cool, Gabrielle?
Objection.
With all due respect, Mr. Chairman, information pertaining to the victim and her positions is new and highly relevant evidence.
Objection.
I don't, but if we claim her memory is unreliable now, then our own argument is weakened, sir. Get him, Verity. Grow a backbone. You can do it, baby girl. I believe in you. You gotta hold those tits up somehow. You said yourself only a few minutes ago. But thanks to the suspect's confession, we need not worry ourselves over the finer details, did you not? Were we able to call the validity of her memories into question? Then we must also call into question the confession on which her entire argument is based. Is that really the most advisable course of action? Look how calm she is, and he's fucking having a heart attack. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're still in the game, but only by the skin of our teeth. And only thanks to Judge Gaviel's intervention. It's almost as if she was on our side for a second. It needs bugs. You need more bugs. I do like bugs. Not all bugs. Cockroaches can fall off the fucking planet. Or at least stay the fuck out of my house. Wow, Mr. Edgeworth, the stuffed animal. I believe the cow in question is this thing here, Your Honor. We found it in the storeroom and believe it is yet another auction lot. Wait, that's... No, it's just not what I imagined. Not what you imagined, huh? I suppose it is rather an odd thing for the victim to have been carrying. I should look it over carefully. Okay, well, first of all, what the fuck is this about? This hole, it looks like that's where the horn would have gone. Take a look at the rest of this toy and see what else we can find. There's no tag on it. Can I look at his little note? Hey, there's cherry blossoms. There's a cherry blossom petal caught in the fur here. There are petals on the raincoat, too. Would definitely appear this was taken outside at some point. What did the victim want with this thing? The right horn seems intact, but I can't say it's doing much for the overall symmetry of the stuffed toy. It does. and being crushed. It would seem there's a recording device hidden inside. I knew it was you the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. Nothing to say for yourself? Waited so long for this day and now I'll finally have my revenge. Could this be the moment of the murder? Someone's got a weird kink. It's a cute toy. It might be nice if it had both horns. Definitely is meant to. Hey, it's them right there. And the voices I heard, sure as eggs is eggs. Unfortunately, we have no way of verifying when these voices were recorded. It's possible they have nothing to do with the murder, only there was some accompanying video footage. You got bugs in your ears or something, lady? I done told you that was the voices I heard. And we already knew the victim was holding that thing, right? So it's gotta be from when she got. Yes, it is a possibility, but a weak one without more than your word to back it up. We need something more, something credible. We need, yet again, she seems to be stepping in to help. Judge Gavial, I think we all know the voices are from the moment of the murder. Consider for a moment the words we heard of the last speaker say. I knew it was you the moment I laid eyes on you. You can't hide that burn from me. I believe we have something that could explain what those words are referring to and how it's all related.
Take that!
The coroner's preliminary findings, how do they prove anything? Indeed, what on this page shows the voices must be from the time of the murder. Prominent burn mark. Present. Think again on the words we heard. This part in particular sticks out in my mind. You can't hide that burn from me. The victim had a prominent burn mark on the back of her right hand. According to Kay's testimony, the victim was carrying the stuffed cow toy. And a burn mark, an identifying mark unique to the victim, was mentioned in the recording it captured. I'm not so sure that it does, especially not in this case. The court accepts that recording may be from the time of the murder. In which case, one of the two voices must belong to the real culprit. And based on the content of the conversation, it seems likely that there's one we hear the most. Due to the voice change was correct. Unfortunate but unavoidable. One thing, however, has become clear. We are now able to say that the voices Miss Hart heard were those of Ms. Ringer and her killer. Just like I done told you they was. We can say something else now, too. Then let's hear it. That is, if you don't mind, Mr. Chairman. This little triangle should be shaded, like, way darker than it is. Sorry, it's bothering me. According to Ms. Hart, just before the murder occurred, two people came up to the storeroom from the committee chamber on the elevator. The ringleader and one of the auction attendees. It seems this was the point at which money exchanged hands. The murder happened immediately after. And the auction carried on after that. All of which points to one key fact. Since the ringleader was the auction's sole auctioneer, then it follows that they cannot be the victim. Not right now, Eustace. There's a good boy. And if they weren't the victim, then they can only have been the killer. A compelling argument, but hardly conclusive. I'm fully aware of that, Your Honor. I was merely warming up for the main event. Why are you so mad? Why are you so mad? You okay? Did your zipper out of fluid? There were certain traces left on the scene that seemed to suggest the ringleader was the killer. Then please hurry up and show us. There's something that was placed on the scene that points to the ringleader as having been the killer. Placed on the scene. Okay, so the key card was in her hand. This was in her pockets. I think it's this. We'll try this. Nope, it wasn't this. You don't get anything, so that doesn't count. How could that be? What evidence do we have? So we're pretty sure this is faked. This blood is part of the fake. I think they would have wanted to hide. They wanted to hide that the storeroom was the thing, right? Okay. We're gonna go with this, because this hides the existence of the storeroom. The killer deliberately left a large pool of blood at the foot of the Goddess of the Justice statue. The Goddess of the Justice? The Goddess of Justice. It was due to that blood was originally thought the murder... I can read. It was due to that blood that we originally thought the murder had happened in this chamber. It was simply a ruse, designed to cover up the blood that had dripped down from the storeroom. In order to conceal the existence of the underground auction, correct? Correct. If the culprit had nothing to do with the auction, they would have had no reason to cover up that blood. Which further supports the theory that the ringleader and the killer were one and the same. And as to the identity of the ringleader, you have anyone you'd like to name? The auction is always held in this committee chamber, with its storeroom located just overhead. So at the very least, we know the murderous ringleader has some connection to the committee. As the committee's most powerful member, that should hardly be a surprise, right?
Objection!
The music's not allowed to drop out when he does an objection. I'm upset. How dare he? You're so hopelessly naive. Do I have any evidence to show that Chairman Winner is the murderer? I don't think we do. No. It was Chairman Winner himself who brought up the fact that I suspected him. And he seemed confident from the get-go that he's untouchable. Means he knows. He knows I have nothing. I've always wanted to say that. What you got, Lotta? Sorry, that's a funny line. That one got me. Nah, it just came to me. Flash of inspiration. You know how it is. Very well, say your piece.
Objection.
Mr. Edgeworth has made it clear that he won't give up until every last lick of hope has been extinguished. So extinguish we must. Lest he try to drag us through this excruciating process again in the future. I don't quite get it, but it sounded pretty cool. Okay, Eustace. Let's hear what the witness has to say. Alright. You are the chairman, Miss Hart. If you would be so kind. Well, alright then. Here goes nothing. The facts, Miss Hart, and nothing but the facts, please. Don't you worry your pretty little head on that front. I'm a journalist. Truth's my middle name. Color me officially worried. So the ringleader's a killer, right? Which makes the victim one of them auction goers. Thing is, that don't add up. I counted 11 people coming down that hatch, you see. And the murder happened and the auction started back up again. Now I had me a good look downstairs right after that. No. And wouldn't you know it, there were 11 little duckies all lined up in a row again. How? Are you sure of this, Miss Hart? Sure can be your gal shit. Saw him with my own two peepers. That's a thingy. It sure is, Eustace. Ms. Hart, did nothing really change at all? I done told you already. That carried right on again like nothing even happened. Oh, except for it wasn't nothing much, but what is it? That little mallet doodad. Can't have yourself an auction without one. Kinda like the one Missy's got over there's got, but different. The auctioneer's hammer. That's the bunny. I done heard that thing banging and clanging right the way through, and then nothing. Just like that. So the noise of the hammer stopped midway through. Could it have something to do with the murder? If what Miss Hart is telling us is true, we have something of a problem. Namely, that if the victim was neither the auctioneer nor one of the attendees, your entire theory cannot stand, Mr. Edgeworth. You don't like it either, buddy. Shut up, you dumb child. I will fucking break your skull. No, there must be something we're overlooking. Something we still don't have an explanation for. I just need to think. If I can't, Kay is. Hold it. Who's holding it? One moment, sir. I worry that it might still be a little early to pass judgment. After all, we have one more matter yet to resolve. And until we do, we cannot claim complete and total victory over Mr. Edgeworth. Is that not so, Mr. Edgeworth? Frankly, I expected you to have raised your own voice by now. Allowed to hold it, perhaps. Oh, yes, of course. And once again, she has rescued us from the jaws of defeat. Why, the contradiction in the coroner's report, sir. Hell yeah. How's it going, Doc? Donk. Ouch. This better be good. Oh, that's Lotta's voice. This better be good. Somebody else dropped dead. Well, they might soon wish they had. Dr. House. Miss Needler, thank you for coming on such short notice. Let me assure you this won't take long. Quit trying to butter me up and cut to the chase, will you? Of course, we summoned you here to confirm something. What is Judge Gaviel up to? I'm old. Dr. Hertz, this court asks you to provide the unabridged truth regarding the following. Did you stand by your preliminary findings? Can you vouch for their complete and total accuracy? That's strange. In the course of this trial, an error was indeed found in her report. So I ask again for the truth, Dr. Hertz. Did you alter, tamper with, or in any way falsify your findings? What are you asking me for? Why the heck would I want to do that? To help the true culprit, of course. As if I'd know anything about all that. I just know I didn't do anything of the sort. Well then, that seems doubly strange. What explanation could there be for the discrepancy in your report? Discrepancy. Mr. Edgeworth, I wonder if you might have any thoughts on the matter? It's not like you to be coy, I must say. Why does she keep taking charge and helping me? It's weirding me out. I still don't know what she's trying to do, but I'll happily take what I can get. If everything was recorded accurately and then handed off to Mr. Winner according to protocol, then the report shouldn't contain any mistakes. I guess we'll see, won't we? Dr. Hertz, perhaps we could begin with your side of the story. You okay, Needler? I'll be the judge of what's pointless. Thank you very much. Ow. Won't you please help us? I can't stress how important this is. And yet you had no qualms about taking your time and buying cotton candy the last time we saw you. We'll let you go as soon as we can, I promise. Wanna know what I learned the hard way just now? Hell yeah, what did you learn? Assuming you tell us the truth, that is. Yes, Clippy tokens do expire. I'm sorry, Mio. I thought you knew. They give you like a lot. They give you lots of notices that your Clippy is about to expire. They even email you. I've been dealing with that longer than you've been alive, Sonny Jim. You writing something wrong is about as likely as ouch. And what the heck do you think I'd stand to gain by doctoring a file? Don't make a lick of sense. Nothing funky here.
Objection!
Your opinions are not necessary, Nurse Needler. Your grandmother is the subject of this inquiry, not you. Go ahead and shout objection left and right, but you best be prepared that Mr. Ex-Prosecutor. I don't know what happened to my voice. but it did that. It became Predator or some shit. Oh, I'm more than prepared. I'm ready to expose the truth behind the error in the report.
Hold it!
Press everything. Never. You're saying that Dr. Hertz is infallible. Oh, doctors make mistakes all the time, sweetie. I got a whole hospital relying on me. You can't bungle your work and survive, mister, but you can bungle your work and survive, mister, but I can't.
Hold it!
And you really never made a single mistake in all that time? Doctrine's all about experience. The longer you've been at it, the better you get. If only the same were true of prosecuting, determine winner would be the best in this business. But I think we can all agree that's not the case. He has people to make mistakes for him. Lucky for me, I don't have to make them. Don't you go trying to make doctrine and lawyer and sound the same. They ain't nothing alike. Alright. Do I just shove the thing in her face? Let's press this. The victim appears to have put this raincoat on after sustaining the head injury, and yet there was not a single drop of her blood in the chest area of the raincoat. Therefore, she must have been hit in the head before she was stabbed in the chest, making it pre-mortem. I don't need you to teach me how to suck eggs, young man! My danged report already says what you just said, don't it? Your report states that the head injury appears to have been sustained post-mortem, which is the exact opposite of what I just said. I diligently dictated that report to Florence here, and she wrote it all down just like I said it. If something happened to it after that, weren't nothing to do with me. You dictated it. Could you please tell me more? I'm glad I just pressed. Let's press again.
Hold it!
Just to be sure that nothing new opens up. Just so we're on the same page. What were your conclusions regarding the body? Death from a good hard knock to the noggin. And can you say for certain when that knock happened, Dr. Hertz? Pre-mortem, of course. Chest wound happened after the poor girl died. I told Florence that, and she wrote it right down, so that's what it says in my danged report. That may be what you told her, but I think we're finally getting to the truth. Alright. Present your report, Ms. Hertz. Dr. Hertz, I'd like you to take a look at the report for yourself. Oh, she's upsetty. This ain't what I said. This ain't what I said at all. What? What do you mean exactly? Miss Needler, if you are attempting to bury Dr. Hertz's truth, I will gladly hear her confession myself on behalf of the Goddess of Justice. Dr. Hurt seems to be telling Judge Gaviel something in private. What? I see. Very well. Allow me to relay to everyone what you have just told me. Ain't no doubt about what I said. I dictated my findings to Florence just like I told you I did. The fuddle-headed young thing must have wrote it down wrong or something. It was a terrible impression because I didn't do it. Yes, but was it really necessary? So in summary, there was an error in this report. And it was all because of you, Nurse Needler. Now they're both sweating. I do love the double sprites. They're so cute. I think I'm very fond of these the art for these two characters. The true facts have now been shown to be that the head injury occurred prior to the chest wound. The question now, Ms. Needler, is why did you induce such an error? A little mistakey wakey. Except that they mean two completely opposite things. This was deliberate, no doubt about it. Ouch. You submitted a falsified report, an act that led to Kay being accused of murder. You owe us an explanation. Not don't want to, but can't.
Objection!
You'd like that, wouldn't you? Because the only person her testimony would have heard is you. I'd be happy to. I'll even spell it out for you. Nurse Needler's role in this crime was very important because she's a co-conspirator. Nurse Needler doctored the report in order to cover for her accomplice. The murder couldn't have been committed by one person working on their own. There's at least two people it wouldn't have been possible to maintain attendee numbers. If the auctioneer was the murderer and the victim was one of the attendees, the fact that a witness testified to there being 11 attendees even after the murder doesn't make sense. That's not what I meant. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I'm taking you at your word, which means there must be a co-conspirator.
Objection!
I wasn't wrong, I just hadn't considered the possibility of the killer having an accomplice. But as soon as we do, things start to fall into place. The killer's accomplice returned to the auction room in place of the victim. There would have been 11 attendees both before and after the murder. I don't imagine that Nurse Needler looks strikingly different from the victim in build and stature. With the help of a mask, she could very easily have replaced Ms. Ringer without anybody noticing. Well, Miss Nurse Needler, is that what happened? Did you take the victim's place at the auction? Now tell us, the ringleader, who were they? Don't you worry about me, I can take it. You just tell me everything. Aww. Aww. I forgot that was their breakdown. So, I was right. She was an accomplice. Well, Miss Needler, can you explain yourself? So you admit you were working with the ringleader? The culprit was going to be attacked by the victim? Now hold it all right there, missy. I didn't see nothing. My eyes don't lie. If you'd have been there from before the action, I would have bumped right into you. I was there the whole way through and you weren't there for a bit of it. I think we're all aware of the number of potential hiding places in that storeroom. Just need to let her hear while she was waiting in the storeroom. Well, we got the one thing a human can hide in. It's this. She hid inside this closed box. I guess that is supposed to be from when Maya was put on trial. I wanted to hide in there myself, really, but it was locked up tight, so I had to go elsewhere. I imagine that's because Nurse Needler was already lying in there by the time you arrived. Edgy baby, yeah. It's before the auction was due to start. So, as the auction was beginning, you and Ms. Hart would have been the only people in the storeroom. And the auction proceeded as it always did, until a certain customer came upstairs to complete her purchase. That's when the incident occurred. Ms. Hart overheard the victim and the culprit exchanging words around them. You betcha I was behind that statue there, shaking like a dang leaf the whole time. In the middle of their quarrel, Ms. Ringer was killed by the auctioneer. I imagine that the auctioneer was then carried Ms. Ringer's body over to the clothes box, from which Nurse Needler emerged and swapped places with the victim. After placing Ms. Ringer's body inside the box, Nurse Needler's role was now to pretend to be Ms. Ringer. And the two of them returned to the room below as if nothing had happened. Does that about sum up what happened in the storeroom, Nurse Needler? Hold up, so you just waltzed right back in and nobody noticed? This is two completely different people we're talking about. You're telling me not a one of them other folks down there at the auction cottoned on? Why would they? The other auctioneers had no reason to notice the difference when Nurse Needler entered because she'd stolen the victim's clothes. As we've seen, Ms. Ringer and Nurse Needler are about the same build. What's more, the auction rules require attendees to wear masks at all times. If Nurse Needler were wearing the same clothes as Ms. Ringer, nobody would have been any the wiser. Left the poor child in her smalls. Have you no respect, girl? That means underwear. No, Grandma, I thought the same thing. When the ringleader wasn't looking, I put the raincoat on her. So that's how Ms. Ringer came to be wearing it. And thus the auction was able to carry on as before. I guess the part where I caught the red raincoat on film came just after. Yeah, it must be. That all makes sense. Right after that was when I went on over and looked downstairs to the gap in the elevator. I spotted me 11 happen little auction goers in back. I snuck to my little hidey-ho. Don't tell me you were hiding back there the entire time after that. Well, that is, not exactly. What is it? Did something happen? Oh, maybe I ought to mention this before, but I fell asleep for a few winks after that. Well, passed out. Unconscious, you might say. What happened? Oh, nothing much. Kind of silly, really, but there's a sudden loud noise and it startled me just a little bit, you know? Alright, maybe more than a little bit, but I just witnessed a murder. Can't blame a girl for getting jumpy. Guess I got my heart shook and my head faint. Before I knew it, I was out like a light. By the time I came to, it was the next dang day, and there y'all were clanking down that ladder. I see, so you startled by a loud noise and fell unconscious. I suppose that means you don't know what happened after that. Not per se, but, well, after the auction was over, all the mechs were back on the rack. So I reckon the guests done finished up and filed out one by one like they was supposed to. Just pretending to be Miss Ringer and placing bids. I had to win the clothes box. It had a dead body inside after all. Imagine if somebody else had won it, we would have been in real trouble then. You had no idea the victim had vacated the box in the meantime. This is looking real good, Mew. Bugs. Butterflies and a dragonfly. Another dragonfly. Painter. It needs more bugs. The ringleader told me to go look for her right away. But I found some other girl collapsed at the front of the ladder instead. Okay. Must have fallen from up on the roof and been knocked unconscious. Guess the victim must have left that hatch wide open, huh? That would explain it. Kay would have been so shocked seeing Ms. Ringer fall motionless right in front of her. But she wouldn't have seen the open hatch and fallen right through it. That explains the noise that caused you to faint as well, Ms. Hart. It was the sound of Kay crash landing onto the storeroom floor. I get it, Mew. I enjoy seeing it shape up. So in summary, by the time Miss Neela found Kay, you were already sound asleep behind the statue. I think we've got a good grasp on what occurred up to this point now. Miss Neela, if you would continue. I found Kay, and next I found Miss Ringer, and I put them both in the clothes box? Was that your idea, the ringleaders? Putting the raincoat. I had to get rid of it before they found out what I'd done. Of course, which completed the deception and made everyone think she was the auctioneer. Now that we know the extent of your crimes, Nurse Needler, if you have anything further to share, I advise you doing so immediately. That's all you know. You couldn't take her hair, obviously. You're dang right you couldn't take her hair. What kind of medical professional are you? That's where you draw the line, so taking her clothes was okay? Hair was totally different. The length, everything, I kind of panicked. The ringleader thought of everything. Oh. Get 2 wigs. A straight one and a wavy one, and they were both stashed in the clothes box. 2 wigs, but why? Leaving a wavy wig in the box. And that's everything you know. There's nothing else you're forgetting. And I take it you really have no idea who the ringleader might be. I can't get something concrete on them. We're gonna keep going until the end of this part. I don't think it's that much longer. Is that it? Am I not going to be able to save Kay?
Objection!
Granny? Yeah! Franziska, what are you doing here? As I told you before, Miles Edgeworth, where the case leads, I follow. I need the Ace Attorney anime to come back. I haven't watched it. I got really frustrated with it because animation is questionable. Your dedication is an inspiration to us all. But don't go getting the wrong idea, little brother. I'm only here to deliver the truth regarding the suspect. I'm certainly not here to forgive you for abandoning the way of the prosecutor. I'll take the breadcrumbs. I understand that. You should thank your former subordinate for what I'm about to share. In his desperation to help Kay Faraday, he gave me a valuable piece of information. Detective Gumshoe did that. Prepare yourself, Miles Edgeworth, for the final piece of the puzzle. Rosie Ringer's head wound was the first— Alright. Thanks, Fran. Well, someone say something. Yes, there's no easy way to say this, Francisca, but we already proved that ourselves. You— what? You weepy good. It's just a few minutes later. Well, why did you say so sooner? You didn't exactly give us a chance. And I suppose you know about the murder weapon too? No, not yet. Ah, good. Then listen up. The victim was struck on the head with a blunt object bearing a circular surface. And the wounds to the chest were actually inflicted post-mortem. A circular surface.
Objection!
Two trusted medical professionals reached the same conclusion independently. You couldn't ask for more.
Objection!
Objection!
Of what? I am the prosecutor in charge of Interpol's investigation until the underground auction. And this murder occurred during that auction. It would be negligent of me not to pursue leads pertaining to the related parties. Especially the victim. Objection, 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 objection! She's always been a force to be reckoned with. From when she was 13 and had a riding crop. Fucking terrifying child. Then all parties are in agreement. The victim died from a blow to the head. I'll take Hammer Lady. Sadly, the murder weapon itself has yet to be identified. Based on the shape, I might have an idea or two. Eustace, no one cares about you, buddy. And yet, one need only think about the setting and an auctioneer's tools, and the answer should be obvious. Me and her go have tea in a respectful conversation and never speak again. An objection with a circular surface used in an auction where it's the hammer. What would an auctioneer have readily at hand? An auctioneer's hammer, of course. If the auctioneer was indeed the killer, it does seem a likely candidate for the murder weapon. But without evidence to support your theory, it remains nothing more than that. Oh, I'll have just the evidence you need right here. This piece of evidence strongly suggests that the auctioneer's hammer was the murder weapon. And let's needler. I need his heart. This part.
Take that!
Miss Hart told us something very important about the auction after the murder occurred. She said that the very prominent sound of the auctioneer's hammer could no longer be heard. Now, why would that be? I'll tell you why. Because it had just been used in a murder and was covered in the victim's blood. It would need to be disposed of, isn't that right, Chairman Winner? I'll have our people look into this right away. He seems very confident we'll never find it. Very well. A search for the murder weapon will be conducted. In the meantime, this court is in recess. Alright, to be continued.